everybody. Thanks for joining us for the From Launch to Legacy podcast. I'm Courtney.
I'm Kenneth.
And we're the Havens. We own Havens Business Services, and we are here to talk to you today about how to start and run a small business.
Awesome. Today we're looking at, I think, Backend.
Yep. So the foundational elements that you would need to run your small business, not the funnest stuff to talk about, but definitely necessary. So things we're going to talk about today are equipment needs, software, security, all of that fun stuff.
Yep. I'm ready to get these essentials passed so we can start getting into the fun stuff.
Yes, and that stuff is coming up soon. All your branding, your marketing, your networking, your client stuff, your tips and tricks, all that's coming up soon.
Tales from the crypt.
All right. So last time we talked about banking and accounting and structure needs. And before that was how to legally start and your startup checklist. So if you are new to our show, all of those are past episodes, and we have show notes that are on the website. There's checklists, guides, all kinds of stuff for free for you guys. The website is www.havensconsulting.com. So let's just jump right in. I'll let Kenneth talk about computers, phones, and internet.
All right. So computers, this is... I can't imagine a business that isn't going to need a computer at least. Don't go over the top, but don't get a bare model. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say brands or anything, but if it's under $300, it's probably not going to do what you need it to do.
Right.
And sometimes paying a little extra for some features may make things a little more convenient. I know my laptops are always huge. I don't even need a big screen. I need a number pad.
Yeah.
So that just accommodates a bigger screen. If I'm anywhere where I'm not plugged into a docking station, that saves me so much time. Just think about what you're going to be doing regularly on this computer. Don't think about the outliers, the one-offs. Mm-hmm. No computer's going to handle whatever. Just take those as they come up. But what are you going to do every day?
Yeah.
And are you going to need this feature? If you're going to be staring at a screen for more than, I'd say, an hour a day, don't get a tiny screen.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a headache. It's going to hurt your eyes. Now, if you've got employees or you've got to scale up and you've got to get multiple computers, I think we'll get into here in a little bit some of the group software, your communication tools and stuff like that, antivirus, which you need. But I think that's a little later down the roster as well.
Okay, so internet, do you suggest that they go high-end internet or just regular?
It depends.
Yeah.
What are you doing? If your business is running off the internet all the time, it doesn't need to be super fast, but if you were having consistent, the internet feels slow, it's lagging on me, you need better internet. Okay. Whatever that looks like.
What about backup solutions like cloud and local backup?
I think they're both good options. They both have their pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
Local storage, you don't have to worry about it getting
hacked.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's no breaches or anything, but you have to keep physical devices somewhere.
Yep. So I do both usually. We love Microsoft. We'll talk about it when we get into software, but I upload everything to SharePoint.
I think love's a strong word.
Well, I do. He does not, but I don't deal with their customer service. So anyway, I put my stuff on SharePoint so that I can use it on my tablet, on my phone, at home, at work, wherever. But then I download stuff to my tablet and use Notability, which is an app we'll talk about. So then I have PDFs of everything on my computer, usually anyway. So mine's on both, but I guess that's all of these things are going to be specific to your industry. If you have actual regular questions about your business, just let us know. You can email us at info@havensconsulting.com. So next up on the list is going to be communications beyond email. So stuff like VoIP phone systems.
VoIP.
Instant messaging. Do you have anything to say about those things?
I used to hate instant messenger at work. I worked for a large oil and gas company at one point, and we had email. I had people coming by my desk.
Yep.
I had a phone at my desk, and then they were like, "Hey, we also need you to have your instant messenger open." I was like, "Just send me an email."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not monitoring 4 things at once." I use Teams Messenger almost exclusively. Like,
Yep.
there's days I don't see Abby,
Yep.
but I have talked to her 100 times
Yeah.
because I have just IM'd her. Because
I really like the IM too. It's much faster for me
yeah,
to IM than almost anything else.
yeah,
The emails, I feel like if it's something that you're absolutely going to need to see over and over, maybe you can do it through email, but
right.
a quick question here or there, I just love Teams for that.
It's really useful if you need to go back at some point, but not really like in detail. It can, kind of hold a document if you need it, like short term. But like you
Right.
said, email is like your next best. If I need to keep a conversation trail, email's a lot better for that. Or if it's a long form, if I've got a bunch of stuff, I don't want to type paragraphs into IM.
All right. So essential equipment. I would say you need a phone of some sort. So when we started the company, we got a new line so that the clients were not calling your personal.
No, that was
we started with
my personal
just the
for
personal.
a year and a half.
Okay. So we started out with personal, which is perfectly fine, but just know that people will use your personal forever.
Yes, yeah, forever, and it takes a lot of kind of strict training on that to get your clients to not use your personal. And I could have just changed my personal number, but I've had it since I was like 14.
Yeah.
So, it's one of the oldest things I own is my phone number. And
Right. And it's got a different area code, so it doesn't look like a business from here.
Right. It's the most affordable option. Everyone's got a cell phone.
Yep.
You've already got it. You know the number off the top of your head, but it is going to be very difficult down the road to get your clients to use not your personal phone. And depending on your industry, whatever you're doing, I'd say this was a lot more to our service-based, listeners out there. Your clients will text you and call you
all night long.
We'll have a boundaries and expectation setting episode to kind of go over some of that stuff, but it's definitely the cheapest option. You need to be able to connect to the internet, have a few apps, but I mean, there's track phones that are, I think Samsung Notes, you can get them for like less than 100 and pretty cheap service. So there's some options out there as far as like landline phones.
So I say we went overboard. So we got a second line or third or fourth or whatever on our plan, but I mean, nobody really used it. And it gets so much spam calls. We didn't have that as our primary phone for very long before we got in-house big phone system, which I feel like we overdid that one too.
I don't know.
I would just say go slow.
Yeah, go slow. If you don't find yourself constantly going, God, I wish we had a better lob. You don't need it yet.
Yep.
Like that's really the thing. And we kind of went hard in the paint, as they say, last summer when we expanded a lot and got a lot of things.
Employees and everything.
Yeah.
All right. So your essential equipment, you'll need somehow for them to call you. So cell phone or additional phone, or there's apps where you can use a different phone number. It still goes to your phone.
Yep. There's temporary numbers you can buy for like $15 and you get X amount of time and then it's just gone. Yep. Now, that's not going to be really great for keeping consistent communication, but if you've got kind of one-offs that you don't want getting called back, that's a solution.
And so then you need your laptop and just somewhere to work. I mean, when we started out, we worked from our garage and we met clients at coffee shops.
Yeah.
So if you can start there, do that. The smaller, the better. And like Kenneth said, if you're not seeing yourself being like, I wish we had, just don't do it yet.
I'll admit this. It's super fun to get grown-up business things, but that excitement wears off pretty quick. And then it's just it's a year or two contract you've got for this thing that barely gets used. Yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Unless you really are feeling a pinch, and it's definitely going to make your business life easier and more profitable. It will make or save you more money than it costs. Just don't.
Yeah. All right, so next up is leasing and buying equipment. So there's going to be pros and cons there. Sometimes the equipment is going to have a lot of capital. You're going to have
Yep.
to do that. If you can lease for short term, I would say probably in most cases, try it. When it comes to software, equipment, anything, if you can try before you buy, I would say go for that.
And this is one of those things that it's like, it's completely on a case by case.
Mm-hmm.
So just look at your situation, think about what it's going to cost,
Mm-hmm.
how you're going to use the equipment. Are there restraints on the equipment? You know, if it's leased, then there's usually like, can't do this with it.
Yeah.
Or you can only do X some, like if you lease a vehicle,
Yeah.
you get a mileage limit. There's a lot of considerations there. There's definitely pros and cons to each. The biggest one is your capital. Like you said, you may have a lot of capital right now, and it still may make more sense to lease because you want to keep as much cash flow free as possible at all times.
Yeah, there may be an opportunity that comes up and you just had all your capital put into some equipment that you may have been able to lease. But
Yep.
But if you have specific questions, again, just email us. All right, software essentials. So on our website, there is a list of lots of different kinds of software. We'll brush over that here, but if you want to look more in depth, then that is on there. So I would say you definitely want to make sure that things connect to each other. The more things that connect to each other, even if something doesn't have a really great one part, but they have a better, different section, if they integrate, go with that.
Yeah.
Integration is key. We first started out, we had lots of different programs.
Oh, it was an eclectic mix of software.
Yes, they did not talk to each other. So we spent a lot of time getting that sorted out. So I would say the two big ones are going to be Microsoft.
And then Google.
Yeah, and Google.
But they don't integrate well with each other at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Google's using, Sheets instead of Excel because we had Google. That's what we started with. And I think it was Outlook Calendar. I think that was the thing that they were like, oh, yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So you told me Google and Microsoft's calendars don't communicate.
Well, they're competitors.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, in some areas, but I don't know. It was crazy to me. So we ended up migrating from Google to Microsoft because everyone was way more familiar with the Microsoft products, as most people are.
Right.
I don't know. I say that probably some of the younger ones are more familiar with the Mac OS.
So our age and older are going to be more familiar with Microsoft because we learned Excel and Word and PowerPoint in school, and we used those at work. But
back when the covered wagons came across, that's how we did spreadsheets.
But the kids, they don't use any of that. Even the big kids, our big kids are 21 now. And
22.
Yep. And they used Google Sheets, Google Docs. All right. So you're going to start out with your foundational ones, which are either Microsoft or Google Workspace. And then you're going to go, what do you need? I think everyone needs either Excel or Sheets. You need some kind of spreadsheet.
For sure. I don't know how you're going to do a business without it. And a lot of you are going to, that's where your accounting is going to be for a while. Right. And that's just fine. That we talked about that in an earlier. Yeah, right. And we talked about that in an earlier episode. That's one of those things. It's like, oh, well, I want, accounting software and blah, blah, blah. It makes you feel a little more legitimate.
Yeah.
But
if you can do it small, stay as small as you can for as long as you can.
Yeah. The most legitimate business center thing you can do is make a smart decision.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so next up, we'll talk about project management software, which is my favorite topic. Could talk all day.
You need like a 3-part series on this. That's just you.
Yes, efficiency is the name of the game. Okay, so my favorite, like Kenneth was saying, is Basecamp. Whatever. Basecamp is better for your creative types.
Yeah.
So all of the software, anything that you use is going to be geared more towards one than the other, and none of them have all of the stuff that you will want or need.
Right. Because there are some that have basically every feature, but the thing you're missing is simplicity.
Yeah.
You're
They're very complicated.
and I would say Asana, maybe not Asana as much.
Monday is complicated.
But it's feature rich.
Yes.
But I mean, that's just kind of the nature of it.
Yeah.
The more complex your features, the more complex the user experience.
Yes.
So,
and it's very tech brain
yeah,
setup.
I liked Monday
I
because
know.
I could customize basically everything. But
One thing to think about though is when you're in all of these project management software is you can start over managing your projects.
oh yeah,
And what you're kind of procrastinating, right? You're like, well, I'm going to set it up so that it's perfect. And now you're not actually doing
there you go,
anything.
analysis paralysis.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, which is so hard to deal with, especially in the beginning, especially when you're nervous or scared.
Or you're avoiding something, you're
Yes.
avoiding a hard conversation, or you're avoiding, maybe just something new, and
Yes.
you're like, I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. Like
Mhm.
these are legitimate
Yeah,
thoughts that you're going to have.
everyone has. Yeah.
Yeah, I've still to this day we talk about doing the useful but not
Necessary.
like important.
Mm,
Like we
yeah.
will, oh well, this is beneficial to
Yes.
do, and it's like, but not right now.
Yeah. Yep.
You're doing this as an avoidance so you can justify it to
Yes.
yourself. So,
And making lists, which I love to do.
oh, I love lists.
And checking things off, and sometimes writing things I've already done just so that I can check them off.
Oh, I do that.
Um,
That dopamine hit is real,
Yes.
and it can really help you kind of get going. 'Cause you're like, oh,
It
look at me.
can.
Yeah.
Yes, but it also can get you to not be doing what you should be doing. Anyway, so if you go with Microsoft, there's already Planner. It's part of it. It's included. You can start there. That's what we use now just because it
Yeah.
integrates. Not my favorite,
Not mine either.
but it works.
I don't really. I feel like I have to kind of take my hat out of the ring for, project management software because I'm at the point where I'm just writing my own because I just can't find one that.
That does what you want it to do.
Yeah, so I'm just writing my own.
Yeah. All right. So a little overview. So you've got Basecamp, which is for your creative types. You can drag things over. It's color coded. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to customize for yourself. And you can use things that you like and remove things that you don't like in each of those. And if y'all want a whole lowdown, I did training for Basecamp
You did.
back in the day. So I could talk about it forever.
The thing I don't like about Basecamp, this was my big issue with it, was you can assign things dates, but there's no scheduling. There's no
Yeah.
calendar. I can't time block. That was what Tick. That's one that's very reasonable. It's an app on, I know iOS for sure has.
That's
I'm sure.
what Kenneth used for his personal before we started the company.
Yeah, and then I used it for everything. Like it was in my personal, then like companies I worked for, I would manage all my work tasks in there too. Because I could time block, you could just make things tasks, you could move, you could nest. I thought it was really good, and it was like $7 a month or something.
All right. Instead of going over project management software forever, we'll stop there. I just want to say, do have something. Basecamp's $15 a month, or just put it in an Excel spreadsheet,
Yeah.
or have a notebook, but just keep track of what needs to be done and what's coming up.
I'm gonna throw one more thing out there about
Sure.
Basecamp. There is a feature about it that is pretty awesome, and as of filming and for years prior, this has been true. You pay for an account, but you can set your customers up as
For
many as you
free.
want, and they're free.
Yes.
They're free, and they have full access. Now, they can't do some of the things you can do, but they can interact with their project
Yes.
just like a user. So
Yes.
for $15, you can actually have it almost like a CRM, which
Yes.
is what we're about to talk about.
Yeah. So, okay. So next up, we do have professional email services. So that's still in there with your Outlook and
Get
your
that.
Gmail. You definitely want that. You want it to say from your business. Ours is havensconsulting.com. So if you have questions, info@havensconsulting.com. It just looks more professional
Yep.
than from at Gmail or something. Absolutely still have a Gmail because there are things that you can not do without a a Gmail
Yeah.
account,
Yep. Yep.
like your Google business, which we'll talk about. It is more complicated than you think.
Yep.
And we have some tips and tricks, and we will have some stuff on the website to help you not have to deal with months of back and forth like we did.
Yep.
Internal messaging, we talked a little bit about that. We use Teams, there's Slack, and lots of other different things. If you can use one, the reason we use Teams is because it's in Microsoft. Bundle what you can. And that's not just a pricing thing. That's a confusing thing. That's a integration thing. That's a learning multiple platforms thing. And then we'll have episodes, I'm sure, about AI getting automation.
Yep. Automation's my favorite word.
Yes. The more you can automate, the easier your life is going to be.
Yep.
But things have to talk to each other to automate.
And there's always this trap of, I don't have time to automate it right now, but you're never going to. And I've done that so many times. I've delayed. Same thing with training people, right?
You don't have time to train people, but you'll never have time to train anyone if you don't train someone.
If you train them right now, you can spend 5% of the time every other time this happens. So,
side note on employees, every employee that you add adds more work to you.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind. Okay. So accounting software, we did a whole episode on that. So just go back if you want some stuff on that. Like I said, there is a list on our website that has all this different software on it and a little bit about each so that you can kind of get an idea. Okay. So next is social media platforms. You don't have to have them all. The main ones I would say are Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and that depends on your industry. If you're in more of a creative, you need Instagram. If you're doing more of a referral base, I would say Facebook. If you're business to business, LinkedIn. Depends on who you're working with, but LinkedIn is not hard to have and maintain. You don't have to post a whole lot, but it's good to just have a presence there. And you can use like Plannable or other systems like that to post the same thing, maybe one day after another or every once in a while for those. So, and
definitely have a business page on your LinkedIn. Don't just have you as an employee there. Set up your business page. It's still free to do a business page. Yeah. And now there's premium and it's pricey.
Yes.
And we can talk about the benefits of that later on of whether or not that's worth it. But definitely have a business LinkedIn profile, have a business Facebook profile. That'll automatically make you an Instagram one.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't necessarily have to get all these, but
those three are the main ones that I definitely would get.
And
even if you're not using them right now, have the name.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Even like go to YouTube, just grab those handles before someone else does.
Okay, social media management. We talked a little bit about that. There's Hootsuite, Buffer. There's website building and hosting, GoDaddy, Wix. You need a website. If you are working with other businesses, for sure, you definitely need a website. If you're making things, it's not so much a necessity as an Instagram and an Etsy account would be.
Yeah. On those things, I think about what's the most likely avenue that my clients or customers are going to find me. If that's through the internet, like us, our website.
Yes.
Googling
is how people find us. So, yeah.
So our website definitely has to have a strong and professional presence.
And we talked about the customer journey in episode 1 and 2, I think, a little bit. But when you're thinking about that, you talk about your customer journey and how they first find you, and then what are the next steps that go from there. So that will kind of guide you in what online presence that you need. Online reviews, local presence. And the companies that we've talked to really said you don't need Yelp. That's as far as I know about that. I'll look into that more. Delaney can tell us about that. Google Business, you for sure need.
Google reviews and probably secondary Facebook reviews are probably your most important.
Yes, for sure. And we'll talk more about how to do that, what to do if you get bad reviews and stuff like that in an episode that's not just about software and the back end. CRM, I'll let you take CRM if you want. So what does Tell everybody what CRM is.
That is a customer relationship management platform. So Salesforce, that's probably a big one that a lot of people maybe heard of. But there's a few big ones out there. This is basically a system where your clients can interact with you, and if they've got an issue and they need to submit a question, they can go through there. They can interchange documents. You can lay out a process flow of things to do, and they can be very useful. They can be used for sales funneling. Just make sure you research beyond what a salesperson is going to tell you, because they're going to
sell it to you.
Yeah, they're going to sell it to you.
Yeah. All right. So there's also email marketing and automation. The number one thing with email marketing and social media campaigns that I just want to make sure is super clear. If you cannot keep it up, do not start it. We've been talking about doing this podcast for almost 3 years, two or 3 years. And we didn't start it until we knew that we would have the time to commit to it. Because if you put out one episode, or you put out one social media post, or you do one email newsletter, and then you stop, it's going to look worse than if you never did any at all.
Yep.
So make sure that you have the time to commit. We did not post our first podcast until we had 5 or 6 recorded.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that we had a backlog of things to talk about. Definitely make sure that you have the time and that you actually enjoy it. Do a few before you tell anybody about
That's exactly
your
what I
new
would say.
project.
Yeah, even if you don't publish them,
Yeah.
do them, edit it.
Yep.
I mean, go through the whole process and think, am I going to want to do this once, twice, 3 times a week?
Yes.
Every week.
Yes.
Now,
when we first started, I loved social media.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Creating the posts, I like to do that. I did marketing for a vape company a long time ago, and that's really when I learned that social media is not as fun as it is when you're just posting for yourself.
Yeah, agreed. I have never been a fan, but that's why we make Lainey do it.
That's right. All right. E-commerce, online selling. If you're into that, you know more probably than we do. There's Shopify, WooCommerce, places like Etsy. Look into them. I would say the same probably goes for those as well. See if you like the platform. Maybe do some trial stuff before you go all in and now you're stuck with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're selling products and you kind of know where your venue is, you know, whether that, like you said, whether it's an Etsy store, drop shipping on Amazon, or if it's a physical storefront, just kind of figure out where you're going to get the most traction and do that.
All right. Next is business operation and administrative essentials. So there's HR and hiring tools. There's a background checker, Indeed. I'm not going to go through all of these and what they all do. If you have a specific question, please email us, info@havensconsulting.com. I'm just going to kind of go through them real quick. Legal compliance tools. So there's Termageddon, which I did not know about until we just had our website rebuilt. And that's where your terms and conditions are.
Yep.
So you'll need something like that. There's one-time places. There's ones that keep it up to date. There are some rules and regulations. It doesn't usually matter for small businesses, but if you are working with people who like to fight, you might want to check into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Secure documents. We have Smart Vault portal for our clients. There's other things that you can do. Make sure that however you're sharing documents, that you are doing that with secure channels.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So next we've got like business insurance. We talked a little bit about that before, but just make sure at the very least do a Google search on your industry and types of insurance that you may need there.
Yeah. Get general business liability at the very least. You can get those from, there's a whole number of companies that offer really affordable general business. And now, like you said, depending on your industry, you might need some more specific coverage. If you're working on client's property, you're going to need different insurance. If you're providing a service that's regulated, you probably need errors and omissions. I don't think they call it that anymore. Or critical personnel insurance. There's one person in your company that kind of can only do a main thing. What happens if they get hit by a
Yeah.
bus, you
Yeah.
know? There's insurance for we've got a policy for that as well. I do feel like an insurance salesman sometimes because I talk to insurance with probably every client, and I kind of go through a series of questions that kind of determine what they might need. And it's because I'm always surprised at the insurance people don't have with what they're doing.
Last thing we'll talk about on administrative essentials is going to be your mail and office solutions. So there's lots of things there. You talked about when we discussed registered agents, not that this has to be the same at all, but if you don't want your personal address out there, if you're working from home, there's options. You can do a PO box, which will not work for the registered agent,
Correct.
but you can put that on a business card if you need to or whatever. There's virtual mailboxes where like we rent office space in a building that has lots of different options, and you can just have that where you just get mail delivered here. You don't have
and
an
you
office
pay a
or
small
space.
fee. And again, with the PO box or like a UPS box, a lot of people will present those as, instead of like box number, they'll put the physical address and then use their box number as a suite, and that will give you a presence of a little bit more like you have a physical. We did this with our PO box when we were working out of the house.
Yeah, it's a suite.
Yes, not a PO box.
Okay. So next we have creative and design tools. So that's graphic design, that's Canva, Figma is one website designers use. There's video editing software, Adobe. There's lots of different stuff. And we'll talk about those on our social media one. There's artificial intelligence. Microsoft has Copilot, which has a lot of features, but it is not included in their
it's pricey.
Suite, and it is pricey.
Yeah.
There's Gemini, which is free. That's Google's, and ChatGPT. And there's one that I really like called Claude. It's more business, I would say.
Yes.
Gemini is more personal.
Is the name of the company, right?
Yep. Analytics. In the beginning, you're probably not going to need this. You have so much going on, but it is good to have the analytics so that you can see them when you get to this point or when you have marketing. Cybersecurity, password management, I will let you handle how you feel about password management.
It's a requirement for me to have a password manager and then let it make secure passwords. It's going to keep you secure.
He's getting excited.
Yeah, I love that we're getting to my happy place. You're building this business from scratch, and it takes one breach for your entire thing to
collapse.
Yeah. And I mean, you can have bank accounts wiped out. You can have your reputation ruined. I think Warren Buffett was the one that said it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to destroy one. So antivirus software and firewall, I mean, Malwarebytes. Go get Malwarebytes. They've got VPNs on it. They've got antivirus software. They've got a digital firewall. You can go get a physical firewall.
It's like insurance.
Yeah, yes, because you don't have to be a big company to be a target. Smaller companies typically are more often targeted because
they don't have the software.
Yeah, they don't have the security, although, we just got news a few weeks ago that I think Google and Apple and I think Microsoft was the biggest data breach in history.
Yeah.
So it can happen. Definitely have some antivirus software. Use a VPN if you're on an unsecured network. I'm overprotective about it, but we deal with very sensitive information a lot of times. And
we have software on all of our computers, all of our tablets, all of our cell phones. And I can't remember any of passwords because they're all just nonsense now, which is good for our company and is annoying at times because you wish you could just put it in real quick and get through with something, but it's better than having a breach.
But because we use Dashlane, and you can install that extension. Once you log in with that, it'll autofill most of your passwords for you. Now go turn off auto login. We kind of have a rule that you need to set it for. It's going to ask for your master password. So you only have to remember one password. Don't use a password you've ever used before.
Use something not easy something you can remember.
And something you've never used before.
Don't write it down and keep it on your desk.
No. Oh, don't tape it to your monitor.
All right. Scheduling an appointment booking. We were talking about reputation. This is very important. You can't miss client meetings. You can't forget that someone needs your help in your business because they will trash you.
Yes.
So get something, you can use the Microsoft bookings, you can use Calendly, you can use Gmail. Just, keep your calendar, have your personal and your work calendar, put them so you can overlay them, block your time. It's just super important. We talked about all this stuff to protect your business, but I think we just need to talk at least a little bit about how hard this is. You guys know you're in the beginning. It's difficult, and you need somewhere where you listen to people who are going through the same thing. I have Audible, I have podcasts, Headspace, Headway. Even if you're just doing short on your drive home, listening, to a book or something, just to help you feel like you're not alone.
I'm not going to say this is going to be an episode. This is going to be like a running theme throughout the Launch the Legacy podcast, is dealing with being a business owner. It's not dealing with your business. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But dealing with being a business owner, we'll talk a lot about imposter syndrome. We'll talk a lot about, guilt. Should I be working right now?
Yes.
I've got things to do.
That's one of my biggest struggles at the moment right now is guilt on, should I be working? Should I be resting?
And that's at like 8:00 at night.
Yeah. And I think I said this to you the other day. I can't feel guilty because I work too much and feel guilty because I don't work enough at the same time.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah, you'll get some illogical emotions that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And I use the phrase, I know that academically, but I can't reconcile it emotionally.
Yes.
So, yeah, well-being is a huge thing.
You have to get yourself in a place before you can get your business in a place. I know some people who know everything, they listen to every self-help.
I know.
Taught me a lot in the beginning about being a business owner. The personal life is a mess, so the business is a mess.
Yep. And you do your best to keep those separate, and we're pretty good about compartmentalizing, I'd say, but
it's still a struggle. It will continue to be a struggle.
And we talk about work. I mean, we could be out to dinner, we could be at home watching, TV or doing whatever, and we might talk about work. But I feel like we keep the hard conversations at the office.
We try to keep anything where we're on opposing sides.
Yeah, right. any sort of conflict resolution. That's for at the office. We have like hopeful conversations. Talks about the future and plans, and up until the point where we have a fork in the road on, I want to go left, you want to go right. Then we're like, well, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
All right. Business networking and local engagement. So that is going to be your local chamber, business directories, professional networking platforms. You guys know what these are. We've talked about them a little bit. I do want to say, when you start out, you are going to be hit by scammers I just got one the other day. Don't click on anything. Google whoever it's from.
Yep. Right click on that email address and see what it really is, not what it says it is.
Yes, that's one that Kenneth taught me. See, and if it is coming from that, then go and look that up. Is this a scam?
Yep.
And don't just take the first thing that it says. That company could have posted that. We've ran into that before. If someone is talking about how they want to write an article on you, see what they're going to get out of that.
Right.
I went through a whole process with a company, and then had a mini interview, had a real interview, and then found out that they wanted to charge us
Right. They wanted to
thousands
sell
of dollars.
you an article.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I said this in one of the very first episodes. Something that used to make my economics teacher in high school furious. I would say TENSTOFL, which was the abbreviation. There's no such thing as a free lunch, which is the first thing you learn in economics.
Yeah.
If there's a benefit someone's getting,
Yeah.
someone footed the bill.
Yes.
And if you can't figure out who that is,
It's probably you.
it's you.
Okay, last things on our list here are just your office supplies and general retailers. So that about wraps it up for software. Again, there is a blog post that talks about more of this stuff on our website, www.havensconsulting.com. And then we'll kind of get back over to our next stuff on here, which is a physical space. So we've talked a bit about that.
This is where you're going to start spending money. A lot of money.
Yes. Like we said earlier, just if you can do it from home, do it from home. If you don't need new equipment, don't get new equipment. And we were really great about this in the beginning. I think we bought 1 computer and 2 tablets. That's how we started out. About a year and a half in, business really took off, and we really took off getting new equipment.
And new offices, and new furniture,
and new employees.
And new systems.
Yes. So we are guilty of this. That's why we're telling you, just keep it simple.
Yep.
As long as you can. Wait until you're like, I really do need this.
Yep. You'll know when you need it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to figure out if you need it, you don't.
Yeah. Yep. So things that you may need are your desk and your chairs and your monitors. If you have them, just keep them. Upgrade as necessary.
Yep.
Your filing cabinets. Some businesses require that documents are locked. Ours are behind 4 safety measures, I think.
There's 5 layers.
So 5 layers of protection, and we actually had a guy come out and check.
We had to be audited, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, some things require that. I will say we'll talk lots more on employees, but run a background check. It doesn't matter if you use the information.
Yep.
Just run it so that you know.
But you have to have written legal consent to do that. Before you start hiring anybody, that's a whole nother tier of research that needs to be done. And we'll talk a lot about the considerations you need to make. The friendly boss, that's how a lot of people, that's how they are initially. We're going to run this like a family, and we're all going to be no, people are going to run over you.
Yes.
Does not mean you have to be a tyrant.
Yeah.
It
took us a long time.
Yeah. Boundaries. And
going from being a boss to an owner, there's a big difference. I've been a boss.
Right.
I've been a manager.
Right.
Being an owner is totally different. But we'll talk about that later. So next up, we have renting office space. Like we said, we rent our offices here in town. Also in this building, we rent by the year. You can rent by the month, you can rent by the week, you can rent by the day, you can rent by the hour. You can have a virtual mailbox. You can have, people can call reception here and get to your business.
Yeah, you can have a virtual receptionist.
There's lots of different options. I mean, and there's multiple companies like this. So just do your research. Know what you're getting into. Look at the hidden fees. There's hidden fees.
There's hidden fees.
They're somewhere. So just look for that. Make sure that you know everything that you can.
Also, we are all guilty of not reading terms and conditions.
Oh, for sure.
When you own a business, read them. You have to read them.
Yeah.
And you have to understand them. If you don't understand a part, highlight it and ask.
Well, next up is cybersecurity and productivity, and we basically skipped ahead earlier and talked about all of this stuff. So the one thing I do want to make sure is that you have your spreadsheet or your Google Sheets or whatever, and you have a list of all of the subscriptions and software.
Yep, when they renew, what the price is, because you don't want to forget on that annual subscription about that software you don't use and you kind of threw aside, and then
it's $1,000
renewal or something in a year. They're not going to refund that.
Right.
They'll just let you not use their software for another year.
Yep. So when you're setting up your password management, this is on our website, but make sure that you don't just do your passwords, but you do your PINs, your security questions,
payment methods,
that you know what device it's linked to.
Yep.
I mean, we have multiple emails, multiple phone lines, and sometimes I can't get into something because the business phone is who the authenticator is linked to. If you just put that note in there, you don't have to go through looking at everyone's phone.
Yes.
Because if you're not the one that set everything up, it's not on your phone.
Yeah. And I've got 4 authenticator apps on my phone. I have
Bananas.
I have a GitHub, a Microsoft, a Google, and a Salesforce.
See, he's in love with cybersecurity. We talked about your antivirus and your digital files. Make sure that you're organizing those well. If you would be interested in how to organize files, or if you're interested in anything, let us know. We'd love to help you out with your specific. We're almost done. I know this was not the funnest episode and it's gone pretty long, but I do want to talk about notability.
I agree on this one.
It is the one thing that we both absolutely love. And like we said, we are not sponsored, but I would take a notability sponsorship like it was nobody's business.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
It's $1 a month per device.
$1.
Because we pay annually, and it's like a $11.99.
I love it.
Yeah.
You can use it on lots of different devices. We have iPads. You can download a PDF and then you can highlight on it.
And then you can send it back to a computer with your markups.
Yes. One of the greatest things when I was prepping for the software, I went through our Dashlane and I wrote down each software, subscription that we have. And then I converted it into text using Notability. So I'm a writer. I like to handwrite stuff. I like the feel of the pencil, and now I have a cover on my tablet, so it feels like paper, but I don't want to write it all down and then have to type it all.
Right.
So you just highlight it, turn it into text. It does note taking where you can record it and it'll text.
Oh, yeah. If you're taking notes while you're having a conversation, you can look up, hey, when I wrote this, and it'll take you to the timestamp where it is, and you'll go, oh, so you can listen to exactly what the person was saying and, update your notes.
Yep. It's so great. So if you were going to buy any software in the beginning, I mean, I would get a tablet and get Notability.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is everything since the beginning of our business is on my tablet.
Yes, same. I mean, and you can make folders and files and organize, and you can rename stuff. And one of the nerd features that I like is not only can you convert to text, but you can convert to mathematical notation. So for you nerds out there that like that's an awesome feature.
Crazy. He does math for fun at nighttime. What are you talking? What do you people understand what I'm saying? Math for fun. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it was an Australian lady, and they say maths.
Oh, yeah.
With an S.
That's
and
the
I love
correct
it.
way to say it.
I'm just going to start saying it now. I love it.
Maths, because there are more than one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Before he goes an hour and a half into the maths.
There's one funny thing on that topic that sometimes you'll be like, what are you thinking about? And what is it?
Math.
No, what's the specific? I'm just thinking about prime numbers.
Oh, yes. Oh, prime numbers. His favorite of the maths. We'll just go over this super quick. Payment processing. There's apps for that.
You'll almost just default have one of these somewhere, probably.
Budgeting, competition analysis. We can talk more about that if you guys are interested. Outsourcing and scalability. So outsourcing and scalability, big deals. Think about the apps or the software or program that you're using. Is that something that most people use if you were going to have someone else use it? So if you have an obscure app that no one really knows anything about, it's going to be almost impossible for you to hand that part of your job off.
It doesn't matter how awesome it is. If it's not widely used, you're going to have to train. And no one's going to learn it as well as someone that actually cares about learning it.
Yeah.
And I've been an employee learning new software that was implemented, and it's just like, I don't care. So just watch out for that. There's, you can run into some really cool features, but there's a reason commonly used things are commonly used.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, I know that wasn't the funnest episode about software and all of that stuff, but it is good to know.
Yep.
Like we said, there are resources on the website, www.havensconsulting.com.
Yeah, this entire checklist will be available.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to our resources page.
And that is all for this episode. Coming up are some funner, more fun episodes.
Yeah, funner.
We have networking.
That's going to be an angry rant episode. I think I've said that about 5 times already.
Elevator pitches and your first clients. So
it is about to get fun.
Yeah, so this wraps up the back end of the business for starting. It never ends, and we'll have lots of episodes about other stuff that happens. Yeah. But next we'll get into more of the fun stuff.
Well, actually, for the people listening to these episodes, they're still, because all this is new and exciting. So this is still fun for them. So that's a good point. But we've done it so many times. This is just the technical snooze. So
unless you want to talk about project management
or math.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. This has been From Launch to Legacy. I'm Courtney.
I'm Kenneth.
We'll see you next time.